Hello everybody, my name is Ethan. Welcome to a brand new Let's Play series in Hearts of Iron 4 for the New Order mod. This is, to put it lightly, a very ambitious mod. What you can see over here, we got, basically introduction to text. So basically this is the overall Blues version. It's like a demo version for the full release. Smaller in scope than the full release mod will be. In this demo, you'll be able to fully enjoy 4 nations. They list 4. We're playing as Orenburg. Yes, over here. You'll find that these nations fully playable for a bit over 5 years, primarily for the duration in which they are killing each other. The New Order does not play like many other mods, and is much a narrative experience as much as the gameplay one, though you will find the Southern Urals to be fairly gameplay driven regardless. All other nations of the mod have had their content removed for the purpose of this demo, however you'll notice the world still changing as the demo progresses, giving you hints of what else to come. So, does nobody have national focus? I'm really not too sure. No, they have absolutely nothing to do. But yeah, basically this is going to be an extremely narrow scope. Is it just all of our neighbors? I don't actually know who gets the focus. So you have focuses, we have focuses. And then probably one of you other ones. I'm not too sure which though. Okay, so you... That's actually the same country. That guy, and then it's Orsk. Okay, so it's just these 4 nations that they're the only ones in this mod right now that actually have focus trees for the demo version of the game. But yeah, like as I was saying, this mod's very different from every other major Hearts of Iron 4 mod in that it's almost very, at least it appears very narrative driven. It actually has endings as a, even in Kaiserreich, it's Kaiserreich's fairly narrative based, compared to the base game. But this mod actually is going to have like endings with credits and like a Fallout style slideshow being like, oh, and then this happened after the end date, which I think is like 1985 or something like that. So it's extremely interesting to say the least. As you can probably tell, this is the alternate history mod in which Germany has won the Second World War. They're also like extremely war support. Their stability is pretty low. There's going to be a civil war in Germany, at least in the full release on the mod. I'm not too sure about this demo version here. Also, I did not even put my timer on. There we go. So you got the United States, Germany, Cold War kind of situation. They added a big lake over here. Italy decided to dam up the Gibraltar here. These cats, I swear to God. Stop it. But yeah, we'll just kind of continue on and see what actually happens here. So we have some research slots available. It is 1962. It's kind of hard to see what we've researched. Okay, so we've researched this. That's 1950. 1958 still takes a while. The base cost 170 days. Research speed is extremely bad. Basic literacy. Oh, because we're very stupid. 25 to 50% poverty rate. Oh dear, we are not... Oh, that's very loud. Or was very loud for 1 second. I'm not too sure why. Yeah, so we are the workers' councils of Orenburg. Head of government's this dude. We're 66% libertarian socialist, 13% authoritarian socialist, and 21% authoritarian democracy. There's a million laws here. Like this, like I said, it's an ambitious project. So I'm really interested to see what's going to happen when the full release of this mod actually is, comes out. I'm very excited to actually play it. So, because we're very dumb, what have we? Okay, so we've researched this. We haven't researched infantry weapons improvements 4. We also have U 395 days. Infantry anti-tank, but I'm assuming they're really not going to have that many tanks, given the situation we have here. Light aircraft, heavy aircraft. I mean, industry is always like a good starting spot, right? Even if it takes an actual eon. Okay, we've already researched you. Factory repair speed. Free repair is basically just trash. I guess military factories and land forts. I'm really not too sure what else we have to do. So we have like what? We have 3 states here. We have 3 infantry divisions, but I guess I will assign under this general, under this field marshal. I really... Oh, we have no field marshals. Okay, well, that's fine. Whatever. they can just go over here. I don't want them to be under the army group thing there. Just you guys. There we go. So with our 3 divisions, I'm sure we're going to be doing great. What about our allies? What do you have? You have 7 to 9, 3 to 5, 1 to 3. So, not great. You have 1 free civilian factory, so I guess we might as well try to build a second. And I'm guessing just make some guns. I don't know what else you'd make. So we're gonna make some HOI4s. The guns from the end of the guns during the Second World War. So the 57th Congress, political power plus 120. Sure, and we're somehow running out of fuel. I'm really not too sure from where. I mean, it's just all infantry division, so I'm not really too sure what the problem here is. So you right now, you're authoritarian democratic, you're despot, and you are a fascist. So right now, everybody is not happy with our situation. We have low manpower, which is fantastic. So how are we going to survive this? That's a great question. I don't know how exactly to answer it. So let's look at like all of these laws we have here. So we're a multi-party system. We're secular. All trade unions are allowed. With naturalization. So, very Victoria 2 here. Slavery's been outlawed. So the fact that that's even in the game is... Probably if you're Germany, you probably have slavery and stuff like that. Public meetings are allowed. Free press. We support the disenfranchised. And give me your poor for refugees. We're a disarmed nation. Women are in non-combat roles. War supervision is no supervision. We have no training, integrated military, and no draft exemptions. I feel like we should probably train a little bit. Economic laws limited, demilitarized, no taxes, no income taxes, 12-hour work days, child labor is illegal. So, yeah, we will see how it all goes. And these are not trending up or down. Is this basic literacy? Mass illiteracy. So we're not the dumbest possible, but we are pretty, we're pretty dumb. We don't even have elementary school, so, it's not looking great. I know we have a low manpower. Again, I'm not too sure why we're losing fuel from refineries. That button does not work. Okay. So reunification of the Southern Urals, push towards Burka, push towards Malenkov, I'm assuming are some of these cities here. Popularity in authoritarian democracy goes up. Popularity in authoritarian socialism goes up. Focus on factory focus. I mean, what we need to get our literacy up, because right now it's actually in the gutter. Like, it's so bad. Shift click. Yeah, we'll try to make... How many guns are we making? We're making 4 a week. But, we're positive on that, so that is good. We just have no manpower. The Reich's last conquest on 19th of January 1962, Edward Collingner became the first man to ever land on the moon. While the space race has been a struggle between the Reich, Japan, and the United States, and while the Americans had managed to put the first man into space, the Fuhrer was proud to announce that Germany landed the landing firmly planted the Reich as the victor of the competition. A grand ceremony is planned in Germania to present Collingner and his fellow astronauts with the Iron Cross in a week of celebration. So I don't know when the beginning of the game or the mod takes place. I don't know if 1962 is the beginning. Also, our flag is basically just trash. Everybody's flag is actually basically just bad. I mean, some of these people, like Kazan's got a better flag than we do. Like, some of these people have okay flags. Your flag's also just trash. Russia's broken up into so many warlords. It's actually insanity. The hypocrisy manifests. Utter turmoil in the Grand Chamber of the Workers' Council. Not an unusual occurrence, but in this case, Panadia carried with it rather more affronted and scandalous air disturbance, all seem to be originating from the lone representatives of another commune, still standing straight with dignity despite a rabid abuse shouted at him from all corners of the room. His speech had been little less than a full-blown critique of the current situation of the economy. That's settlements between Orenburg had to endure and the terrible effects of living standards it had. I mean, everything in Russia seems like it's pretty much bad. Apparently, any sort of criticism of the anarchist form of socialism the communists pursued, even if entirely valid like it was in his case, was a cause for fundamental concern and existential angst for the council. Like a punch in the gut or a smack in the face, words like traitor or fascist scum were thrown around. All he had suggested was for there to be some level of investment from the province of Orenburg into the rural settlements. Should be some level of concern. After all, they provided most of the food sources. Or of madness. Everything is basically just bad. Everything everywhere is not great. We're still losing fuel. Again, I'm still not too sure where the refineries are. Unless building guns now takes fuel. Hitler names Born his successor following a recent attempt on the German Führer's life by a suspected agent. The president upon the Führer to name an official successor, and for the Reichstag, the formally recognized choice has been steadily building. After almost a week of debate and speculation, Adolf Hitler today appeared on live television from the Reichstag and announced the Reich had his successor in Martin Bormann. Okay. I mean, Hitler seems very old. I'm trying to think. Hitler was 51 when he shot himself? So he's about 70 now. A little, maybe like in his mid to late 60s. So what factions are there actually right now? So we got the co-prosperity sphere with the Japanese. You know, it's looking pretty strong right now. We have the Unity Pact with Germany, again, looking pretty strong. We have the Italians faction, again, looking pretty strong. Assuming Italy is the leader there, yeah. And then we have the Organization of Free Nations. Is it just Canada? There's a handful of people here. Australia, New Zealand, Guyana, Jamaica, Canada, U.S. Forces Iceland. Okay, you know, understandable. Right now, there's no faction here. It's just chaos. I think my colored buttons mod has broken the UI here a little bit, but I'm sure that's okay. We're apparently 76% stability, though. All things considered, that could be significantly worse. Problem actually doesn't seem that bad. Are we just missing manpower? Like, it seems like we gain a little bit, and then it immediately goes away. The 57th Congress has now been finished. Get the event in minutes. Okay. So do we need all of them? Yes. So we can either go for 10 political power, the Urals, agriculture, communal autonomy, or trade security. Well, let's go for agriculture first, because it seems like that was a little bit contentious a while ago. And now we can focus on infrastructure, but I don't know if I want to do that right now. What do these do? We'll bring Orenburg closer to centralization. Oh, are those the other people here? Okay, yeah, so it's changing our government type, so we can just ignore that for now. The minutes of the 57th Congress. The incessant mumblings and the lack of cohesion among many representatives of the archaic communes was a perfect analog for the issues that face the communities of Orenburg. A well-spoken representative from Orenburg proper rose to give his argument for increased centralization, hot issues sparking contention between those benefiting and those suffering from autonomy. He began with a passive observation of the inequality created by the council not supporting limited standardization, at least in trade manners and military training. The ringing insults were not few, yet the gifted orator continued unabashed, passionately stating how this was necessary measures could greatly improve the lives and security of the communes. Slight loss of freedom being far from overcompensated by the benefits of the issue, the subsequent vote went inconclusively as expected. Next, a proud, yet clearly uneducated farmer stood to make his case for increased autonomy in simpler terms. An unsurprising opinion, as his personal farm was providing an excess for him and his family. His subsequent vote went inconclusively as expected. A meek, nervous woman rose next, her voice almost inaudible in the mumbling of the room. She glanced around with a desperate gaze at all the attendants, and a murmur began to diminish slightly. Follows a hollering recount of the tiny community that she belonged to and been raided by men in SS uniform. Lacking the discipline that their foes so often feared, but very much still maintain their monstrous brutality. She cut herself off. The pain came from... okay. More votes. So everything is... it's not stable right now. 4% war support. Understandable. 23% mobilization speed goes down. Recruit population's down. Command power gain is down by a lot, but... you know. It is how it is. Farmers' complaints. Small isolated farm. Was it ill disrepair despite the situation on the edge of the Great Wood? But what good could an old farmer harvesting from the last pastures nature had not taken from him? Due to fix small buildings, all of his own. That's fine. We got a refugee crisis. The military's kind of in shambles. Everything is... we're still getting bombed by the Luftwaffe. Ever since the collapse of the Soviet Union, the violent Germans have maintained an indiscriminate aerial bombing campaign over Russia and Central Asia. Well, I mean, that's not very good. Just the Luftwaffe just is consistently bombing us for no reason. Is that happening to everybody? I mean, at some point, you know, they gotta be far enough away. But you're not getting bombed. Like Santa Claus over here. I'm really not too sure. Brawl between reformer factions in the market square. Is this a different event? Okay. While dominant political coalition in the city of Orenburg is in a union of factions that desire to see reform and industrialization, does not mean the city is free from the endless infighting that affects every political grouping in the Workers' Council. Yesterday, a violent incident occurred in the bustling market square between proponents of Comrade Malakov's socialist centralism and the traders and engineers that follow Comrade Burba's technocratic yet democratic influenced ideas. Not one can agree on who lit the fuse on this explosive barrel. Malakov's men argued that they were merely protesting Burba's anti-socialist ideas, while Burba's people accused the Malakanites of sending thugs to intimidate them. While we certainly wish that our politics were above such vulgarities as who has more burly men on the streets, it's difficult to argue that little violence doesn't sharpen a faction's street cred. As both sides today spent recuperating and mending broken bones, it turns out that the victors in the brawl were... we'll decentralize Orenburg. You know, let's just see what we can do. I don't know how centralized we are now. I am assuming not very. Does it say in here? I mean, it's gotta say somewhere. Research, poverty, industrial equipment, low pensions. Answers I don't really see where it doesn't really say that much. Council votes. I mean, this list actually is not very long. It'll take probably like a year. Like, I mean, the game did say it'd only take 5 years to get through the entire tree, and I guess throughout the entire mod. The Euros, autonomy, trade security. Well, autonomy was also another thing they had issues with. We'll see how that kind of goes. Okay, so in recent weeks, the Orenburg Workers' Council has been engaged in fearsome internal debates over Comrade Malakov's recent controversial economic proposals. It's no secret that our economic situation is, well, less than satisfactory. However, the desired continuation of the anarchic status quo of government policy has resulted in minor proposals being met with significant pushback by the deeply conservative peasantry. Comrade Malakov's proposal itself is indeed quite intriguing, as it's been speculated as to how he hopes to achieve such extravagant ideas. Malakov's proposal is one of large industrialization, seemingly regardless of the wishes of the individual communes, which has already resulted in significant pushback from the large segment of the communal delegation. Comrade Malakov argues that by pursuing a policy of industrialization, agricultural yields will drastically increase, thereby providing a sustainable nourishment for the growing population. Yet Malakov's proposal has further inflamed the already present tensions within our nation, as the debates reach a new level of aggression and passion. Some have begun to wonder whether Orenburg will survive. You know, we're fine as it is now. But I do think it's going to be a good time to end this episode. Thank you for watching. My name is Anthem. If you've enjoyed, give me a thumbs up. If you're not enjoying, you can always thumbs down. want to subscribe, and goodbye.